Joshua and Cheryl Tsai know something about perseverance. They are Hakka, a people group whose hard work and resilience have enabled them to survive centuries of persecution and wandering. The Hakka are an ancient people who originally come from mainland China. Their name means guest people and is a reminder of their many years of fleeing persecution, leading them south and eventually all over the world. Several million of them now live in Taiwan. The Hakka highly value their culture, language, and family. But these same values can also be an obstacle, keeping many from the gospel.
From what I understand, although there are about 5% Christians in Taiwan, the number of Christian Hakka is less than 1/3 of 1%. And if you go to a Hakka neighborhood, the percentage is even smaller.
And yet, for Joshua and Cheryl, there was a time when they responded to the gospel.
When I was 17, I graduated from high school. I came from an idol-worshiping family and had worshipped the idols since I was young, but actually, I was afraid of them. I started going to a church in my neighborhood that offered English classes. There, I met some missionaries who led me in a Bible study and helped me understand that there is a true and living God, and that Jesus died for my sins. I accepted Jesus as my Savior, and that was the best decision in my whole life.
I had a physics teacher in high school who was a Christian and invited students to his church. By the time I graduated, I had gone several times and was impressed with the atmosphere.
But Joshua had a hard time understanding and believing some Christian doctrines and stopped going to church until he went away to university.
I started going to the student group, where they used drama to share the gospel. I realized that my sin was an offense against God and was separating me from Him. I asked God to be my Savior.
The Tsais now tell other Hakka about the true God. The work is not easy. They serve at a Hakka church in Taiwan, working to reach a group that has seen very little gospel response.
To reach the Hakka, besides worshiping in our churches, we need to do many, many things to show the trustworthiness of Christ.
To survive, many Hakka have blended into Taiwanese society, but their hearts are still Hakka, and ministry to them must be culturally relevant.
The Hakka think that Christians forget their ancestors because they do not offer incense to them. To reach the Hakka, this is a big barrier and an important fact to understand. We use the Christian funeral rites to point people to God, show why He's trustworthy, and show the value of our ancestors. This gives people a chance to see there is a way to honor our ancestors and still be Christian.
I make friends with people at the market and choose to buy from them every time. I invite them to events, and when the time comes, I share my testimony with them.
The most important thing is to spend time with them and establish the relationship.
The Tsais are seeing progress. The day before we arrived, they baptized 3 people, but they can't do the work alone.
We hope that our Christian brothers and sisters in Taiwan will rise to share the gospel. But there are a lot of weak Hakka churches, so there are very few co-workers. It's my hope that there will be more missionaries coming to help us reach the Hakka people.